welcome to Scarlet Serpent readings. Thank you so much for joining me for today's special pick a card reading, where in this reading I'll be looking at what your ancestors love about you, and I'll be collaborating with Tarot Yogi, who will be looking at what your spirit guides love about you. And I'm very excited to be collaborating with Tarot Yogi. His readings are outstanding. If you haven't seen him, checked him out already, please do so. I'm going to have, of course, the link to his portion of the reading in the description. And yeah, I thought it was a good time. If you're watching this, you know, it's a timeless reading, but if you're watching it around when it's being uploaded, there's, well, a heavy Saturn influence. It's just been difficult energetically, so I think this was a great idea. So yeah, I'll be looking at what your ancestors love about you. And I have to say, because I shuffle, like I pre-shuffle the oracle cards for the piles, and like I was like, there's allergies or something. I was because the love is already really present here. So anyway, I have 3 piles. So pile 1, I didn't choose these, you know, these were shuffled. So this is pile 1. This is pile 2. And then this is pile 3. Yeah, so if you need some more time, you can go ahead and pause the video now to select your pile. But otherwise, I'll see you at your reading. Hi, pile 1. If you chose this card, this is going to be your reading on what your ancestors love about you. And again, if you'd missed the introduction, this is a collaboration with Tarot Yogi, where he's going to be looking at what your spirit guides love about you. And of course, this card, Love, came up, which is, I mean, kind of beautiful considering the type of reading this is. But I also have 2 other oracle cards out. So it seems to me straight away, they love that you love yourself, and that you love your shadow, and that you are harmonious in nature, balanced in nature, and bring harmony to others. You kind of, I think they love that you see yourself in everything, and it just brings a unique perspective to the world, an enlightened perspective that is seen through the lens of love, and they love that about you. They also love that you are able to fully let go and trust in spirit and trust in their guidance. There are 2 birds here, so being carried by, again, it could be, I mean, more than one ancestor, but maybe different groups of ancestors, maybe the ancestors of your father's side and your mother's side, both kind of influencing you in different ways, through their unique perspectives, through their unique energy. But you kind of close your eyes and surrender to their guidance, and know that it's balanced naturally. Their guidance is balanced naturally, and you just come across as someone who's very faithful and trusting, and that's rare. That level of trust really is rare, especially nowadays, where you need evidence before you commit to certain things. In today's world, which is filled with research, you just research first, and it's almost like you're confident enough in your ability to decipher the wisdom from your ancestors to know that it is there, even if it's not fully present yet in the physical world. They do see you as someone who's blossoming into something beautiful slowly. I don't know, maybe you like putting on like perfume or cologne or something like that, but like I think you might smell good, or you're conscious about the aroma of a room, aromatherapy, or like the soap, the body wash that you use, you're very picky about. I think this file might be a little self-aware in terms of aroma and how much influence that has on the environment around them. Whoops. And I don't know, I was thinking of like flower healing in a way, and you're very gentle. I think they love how graceful you are in everything that you do. It's delicate. I think you have a delicate energy, and I just think you treat everyone with the same level of respect and love, and that includes your ancestors, but that also includes difficult people around you, and you are able to see things in a very broad perspective. So very big, macro level awareness that you have. So yeah, let's get some tarot. See what your ancestors love about you. What else, I should say, do they love about you? We have the Ace of Swords, the Page of Pentacles. I do think you have a strong mind, very clear mind, and I think this is what this is coming through. That's where that perspective comes from. I think you would be maybe mediums or very good at channeling. We have Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. There's a lot of pentacles here. And that might be the grounding energy that I sense with this card, where you're so comfortable in who you are. Maybe it wasn't always that way, but I feel like you're very comfortable and grounded in yourself, and that groundedness kind of follows you everywhere. With the Page of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, and Knight of Pentacles. Oh, I didn't show you the cards. Let me show them to you real quick. Ace of Swords. I don't know how many of you played Soul Calibur, but this sword reminds me of Soul Calibur. Please let me know in the comments if you played that game, because it's pretty awesome. But there's like dragon energy here too. I don't know if you're connected to dragons or enjoy dragons. But I think you see your mind as a playful space too. The Page of Pentacles. I think you're appreciative of physical reality. I think you enjoy the natural beauty of the world. And then Knight of Pentacles. You admire nature in a way that I think you could see your ancestors in nature, actually, and they notice and appreciate that, and they love that you could see them in the physical environment. While you can be a medium and you could make an altar and set a space for communication in meditation, you could also acknowledge their presence like in day-to-day reality. So I think there's you have a constant awareness, like 1 foot in the spirit world at all times, and they love that you're so aware. That's what I'm getting with the Ace of Swords. It's like you have a clear mind so that things can come in with ease. And then you're grounded enough to really be, you're not daydreaming all the time. I do think the more you travel, the more you can connect with your ancestors, though. from a very broad perspective. Like, so it goes beyond heritage, it goes beyond culture. So you could see yourself and your ancestors in everything. And I mean, like, you go to Japan or Australia or France or the US or Canada, like, you could see ancestors everywhere. And I think that's a very unique way of perceiving the world, and they love that. I'll get one more card, and then I'll just clarify this for one more, please. Okay. I think with this card in particular, you might have had heartbreak and you could bounce back. I don't think you let your own suffering bleed out into the world. I think you're very conscious of that. Unlike most people who will, I guess by default, try and drag people into the way that they feel emotionally when it's bad. You know, when you're in a bad mood, or sometimes people lash out. You don't do that. You make sure not to do that. I don't know why I show this to you again, but you might have a strong connection with the color blue. That might be kind of your ancestors coming through. I'm thinking of a lighthouse for some reason. There might be something with a lighthouse for this pile. But I think really they just love your amazement with reality, with, again, like simple things like the sunrise or sunset or the way trees move. They love your wonder at the world. They appreciate that you appreciate it, because especially like if these ancestors haven't incarnated for a while, like they've been in the spirit plane for a while, they kind of have a longing to be in the physical world, and I guess that can be overlooked. You know, everyone's trying to ascend or evolve beyond physicality, or just in the opposite direction, is just get away and kind of lose yourself in movies and not be present in the 3D. But they miss that. I think a lot of your ancestors miss just simple things like the way things smell. I mentioned the aroma, the feel of the the breeze, like the feeling of wind and sounds and touch. And I think they love that you're really all in your senses, and you don't mind traveling alone. You don't mind being alone, because I think it allows you to enjoy these things at a deeper level. You are your own partner here, and maybe that could be in a way caused by heartbreak, by people letting you down, especially in relationships where you thought they were one way and in reality they didn't have the same, not just mindset, but appreciation for life in the way that you do. And so you've learned to enjoy that for yourself without others. Let's just clarify this row. Yeah, this one wanted to come out. 5 of Wands. See, this is a card of transformation, and I guess that ties to the 3 of Swords, where, you know, and I'm thinking of 5 of Swords too, but instead of fighting with Mars, with other people for energy and for space, you're okay with just leaving. You prefer peace, in other words. You are a bringer of peace and harmony to others naturally. That's a very natural energy that you have. You have 7 of Cups. Under the Page of Pentacles, Six of Wands. Your ancestors are also proud of the progress you've made on a personal level, on a spiritual level, and even though that's not necessarily acknowledged in day-to-day reality, it's still something that can be seen from the physical spirit plane. So we have the Seven of Cups under the Page of Pentacles. I think sometimes you don't know what to do with money when you have it sometimes, or at least you don't know where you want to travel, but they love that you're open to different experiences. You're very open to different experiences, and you don't get stuck making decisions, I don't think. Even when you're offered a lot of different options, you'll just like, well, if, you know, people are afraid of missing out. If they choose one thing, you're not afraid of missing out on anything. You say, I'll get to it eventually, or at least I could be focused and present enough on what I'm doing that I could just appreciate the depth of one thing instead of being shallow on a multitude of different, let's say like traveling. You know, when you travel, you're on vacation and there's an itinerary, and it's like at 9 o'clock you have to be here, and at this time you have to be here, and at this time you have to be here. You'll take a picture there and do the tour there, and you're just bouncing around, but you're not really like breathing in the essence of that place, and that's something that you do. Six of Wands with Ace of Pentacles. I think that's that pride that they have for you, and you carry yourself well. You don't talk down about yourself, or you don't make jokes about yourself in that way. Some people do that, and it can be uncomfortable. So your spirit guides, will watch your ancestors. Well, maybe you might have, of course, an ancestor as a spirit guide, but this is more of like a big tree of ancestors, yeah. And they see you they see you as someone who's transformed into someone who's proud of who they are, especially with the Sun and the Knight of Pentacles. You are aware of your own brightness now, and you have an appreciation of yourself, and that's something they love. And then we have the Two of Cups underneath the Three of Swords. For me, this feels more of like a union within yourself that they see, just because these two cards are very similar. There's that love for the self, that understanding of your own shadow, I should say, and like I said, also seeing yourself in other people, even if they're sometimes difficult to deal with. You have compassion even for difficult people, even for difficult situations. So even when you're in the Five of Wands energy, even when you're in this, you can understand the perspective of others very well, and that's not something a lot of people can do. And I think the more you allow yourself to be free and see the world in its full vibrancy, I mean, you could even appreciate these moments because you know that they have something to offer you, it's an experience. It's really, you're someone who enjoys experiencing things, and that's something they really love about you. They love, how a child just experiences something for the first time, and it brings joy when you see them light up. That's kind of what they feel about you and the way you're moving through the world, and you try and keep that vision, that way of moving through life as joyful as possible. And they see that as something incredibly rare and incredibly captivating. And also, I think they come through as birds, I have to say. And so if you like birds or you communicate with birds, that would be kind of confirmation for that. But I think I'm going to end the reading here. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please check out Tarot Yogi's part of the reading where he'll be looking at what your spirit guides love about you. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and again, check out Tarot Yogi's reading, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this card, this is going to be your reading on what your ancestors love about you. And if you missed the introduction, this is a collaboration with Tarot Yogi, where he's going to also be looking at what your spirit guides love about you. And this card is showing me that you're always changing. I think that's one thing. You always see the silver lining, even in dark situations. But you're always looking for new experiences, and you have a very vibrant mind. I think they appreciate the depth and creativity of your imagination in a way they can see it, almost the way you manifest these things into reality. And this card is throwing me off, though. I don't really know what this is about, so I'll look into this. I'm actually going to draw another card for this, just one more oracle, but it kind of seems like playful energy. Like, you don't mind playing, like being physical, being rough in a way. And maybe, this could only be for some of you, but it seems like your ancestors might have to wrestle with you to not just get your attention, but to kind of convince you that one way is the right way to do something, or like this path is better. But let's see. Okay. We have masks here. I don't know, I just get something really playful about this, even with the fox, the trickster energy, kind of Loki. So yeah, definitely this has the potential to be a playful pile, and because this is a lot of playful energy too. But I just feel like you don't like being still for too long. Like you want to go wander and explore not only the world but your mind. You want to explore the depths of your mind, and your ancestors love that you're constantly wanting to evolve as a person and almost bring others to evolve with you. I don't think you like people who can stay in the same loop, the same patterns, the same routine over and over. That might drive you crazy in a way, at least for some of you, because you're so filled with ideas that you can't be bothered to be stuck in a routine. And they love that. They love that you have this thirst for life. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Oops, that was aggressive. Yeah, some of you might be athletes or enjoy hiking. King of Pentacles. These two are facing the same way. So you might be seen as someone who really wants to bring these ideas into the world and share them. You really want to share this vibrancy within you and bring it out. And you want the community, you want people around you to physically experience the beauty that is your mind, physically. I mean, I think that's, for you, that's what the world is about. And then we have the Queen of Swords. Oh. So this right here is this. The Queen of Swords and the King of Pentacles. Sometimes this is like they see you as like, how can I make this manifestation a reality? And then there's just this part of you's like, it doesn't matter, I want it to happen. And there's a lot of this back and forth between you. It's different from the previous pile, but they kind of see it as a game that you play within yourself, but it could also cause conflict, and not necessarily conflict, but a delay in your manifestations too. So if you recognize that, like, she has her sword up, she's like, I don't want to hear it. there's no time for that. But so there's that playful energy and more serious, grounded. It's interesting that I'm saying the Queen is more grounded in a way. That the King of Pentacles almost feels like he just wants to build sandcastles, and the Queen's like, no sandcastles. This is, let's, go to work or something. So there's an acknowledgement, I think, from your ancestors that they love both sides of you. They love whatever mask you choose to put on, they will still love the person that's underneath it. Okay. Oh, it's so far. I think, no, I'm not going to pause it. Oh my God. It's really hard to get. Justice with balance, alright. Okay, so that makes a bit more sense. You could be kind of like a karmic reflection onto others. So maybe that makes sense with the masks too, in a way, where and this, you could be whatever the situation needs you to be. You're very good at that, and they're fascinated by that ability that you have to shapeshift, and they love it. And that's what the Justice card is showing me here in this situation is. You can be the Queen of Swords, you can be the King of Pentacles, you could play either side of this, and you do it very well. They're more fascinated by it, actually, of your just swiftness in being different people, and also being, again, kind of like this karmic mirror to others, so you reflect what they need to see. And I don't think it's intentional. I'm going to do one more row of cards just to clarify these. And part of that justice, I was just about to say, is balancing also how much you give to others and your sense of community and growth. It's kind of like this planetary awareness of how you want the world to be for everyone, a very selfless way of seeing the world. I could see it as part of you, but then there's this other part of you that wants to and feels the need to, at a deep level, be a little more self-centered, actually. It's like, I want the world to be this way, but if it isn't, or even if it is, there's still this version that I want to be just for me. And this might have been something that's developed over time as you've been shape-shifting for a while. Sometimes, or at one point, you might have lost yourself your sense of identity, but even like an octopus can kind of camouflage and shapeshift, or you could kind of change colors and even textures, with the appearance of texture. It's still an octopus. So I think you've become more aware of that part of you that is always you, and I think your ancestors have seen that and are kind of applauding you on recognizing that there's always that part of you, and at the same time amazed at the fact that you are able to camouflage like that. It's kind of, yeah, amazing to look at. If you've seen like a chameleon or octopus in the wild, it's mind-blowing to look at that, and they see that with you energetically. So underneath the Queen of Swords, we have the Nine of Swords. So sometimes this queen seems like an enemy, and I think that's why I had mentioned that this queen would be the one to knock down sandcastles. And wow, look at this. They were stacked like this. So both energies have this strong ability to affect your world, one on the inside and one on the outside. And so when you fully acknowledge both of these aspects of yourself and the way that they manifest in your reality, I think that's when this becomes more clear. The justice is really just impartial and objective, and that's when these ideas in your mind really start to flow exactly as you want them to, and not just like, oh, I thought I wanted this job, but it actually is kind of horrible, and you might have changed your mind quite a bit or redirected your pathway multitude of times, but it's less about which path you choose and more about balancing, making harmony, and understanding all the aspects within you that create this external world. And once you do that, it'll be a lot easier. I think that's what your ancestors are trying to say. And they're enjoying watching you in this journey, though. Like, it's enjoyable for them. We have the Three of Pentacles with Justice underneath the Justice card. So here it feels like you could do part of the balancing within yourself, but you always have the ancestral realm to help you. Like, you always have access to your ancestors who are unconditionally loving in the spirit plane, and they have a different perspective, and they do have something to offer, even when it comes to making the Ten of Pentacles a reality, the King's Dream a reality physically. Like, you could still call upon them for both of these, for manifestation as well as calming the mind. But they love you even in this situation. I think that's something that they want you to remember. Even when you are down a rabbit hole or going through a particularly rough patch, the love that they have for you is still there. We have the Eight of Swords. I think they see you as powerful, and they want to see you manifest. They want to see this dream come into reality. I think there's kind of like an audience, like an applause that's waiting, and they want to see you succeed. And I think they love that in a way. They know you will. And they also love your the amount of stamina that you have in your pursuit of your goals, your dreams. Your dreams and your vision are very important to you. And it's important to them too, because they just know how big and impactful your idea of a beautiful world is. Yeah, I think I'm going to end the reading here, but hopefully you enjoyed the reading. Please like, share, and don't forget to check out Tarot Yogi's part of the reading where he's going to be looking at what your spirit guides love about you. So yeah, I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose this card, this is going to be your reading. What do your ancestors love about you? And if you missed the introduction, this is a collaboration between me and Tarot Yogi, where he's going to be looking at what your spirit guides love about you. I think with this card here, it's pretty straightforward. Being passionate, filled with love, lots of Aries, like Aries, Venus energy together. You're wild, though. I think they kind of like, I should say they love how wild you are. You also have, I think, strong shamanic practices, rituals, or just abilities with the shamanic realm. And I think, I don't know if any of you like tribal music or kind of like Brazilian drums or African drumming or something like that. I think it's that movement that they like watching you dance. Maybe they like the way you play with sound, and when you feel wild, you're most wild, they really pour that love to you, and I think that's when you could feel it the most. And then we have this card. Maybe some of you are chefs. Maybe they appreciate the way that you enjoy good food. Maybe you have like a family recipe that's been passed down for a while that you still make, that you still have as part of your life. So I think you have a thirst for life, and they love that. They love your desire, just for desire's sake. This is a lot of movement and comfort. I think you have a very comforting energy to others, but not too comforting where people get complacent with you, because there's always this other side of you. There's also like a hint of Scorpio here, where it's like energetically there's always more to you, and I think your ancestors appreciate and love the depth that they have, that you have. So let's look at the tarot and see, what else do your ancestors love about you? We have the Knight of Swords. There's that movement, though. Yeah. Five of Swords. And Seven of Wands. So the warrior within you is becoming a lot more apparent now in the reading. So that... Okay, so this Knight of Pentacles has been in every reading. Just throwing that out there. It's like a horse by the beach. But this energy is very strong with you, and I think they love this warrior that you have. And it's all about being able to fight, but choosing your battles wisely. Because we see here, first of all, the Knight of Swords. Five of Swords. You know, choosing the battles here. And then the Seven of Wands. So it's kind of knowing when to actually defend yourself, when to actually push through and impose your will, honestly, on the world around you that sometimes doesn't accept this wild child that is you. And then sometimes it's best to just let them go. You don't have to actually fight everyone with Aquarius and Venus. And I think They love your self-awareness. You're very self-aware. You're very strong. This is a very powerful group. Very powerful pile with 2 knights being here. But you're always moving towards something. Then we have the 10 of Cups here. I think for some of you, you really value family. They love that you value the well-being of others. It's more than just you. So and it's interesting, sometimes your battles are just about you, and then sometimes they're about the well-being of friends and family. It's just sometimes you don't fully express the way you feel. And I think that's been an obstacle for you in the past, and that's something you've been overcoming. So they're kind of recognizing the progress you've made in being more open to expressing yourself. Even if it does hurt somebody's feelings, maybe that's been what you've been holding back in telling others is the truth, and sometimes it's come back to bite you. And I think over time you've accepted yourself to be like a channeler for the divine, in just saying what needs to be said, and sometimes being the warrior that isn't gentle. I think for some of you, you really are the one who keeps the family together, or like a relationship or a workplace together. You are the foundation. With the King of Wands. King of Wands makes sense given the Passion card, right? So I think that could be Aries. Yeah, I don't know. I think some of you really like to cook. Or just enjoy food. And I think that's been something that's been passed down from your ancestors, is the enjoyment of what meals mean, what mealtime is. Okay, I'll take that one. 2 of Cups. 7 of Cups. Let's do this. King of Wands. 2 of Cups. Seven of Cups. You're very selfless, I'll say. That even through your passions, you're thinking about others constantly, like the Hierophant. And as I said earlier, being a channeler of spirit, of the divine, I think this is confirmation of that. The Nine of Wands, but you don't have to do it alone. Sometimes it feels like you do. Sometimes it feels like you're the only one who really cares about the importance of spiritual connection and upholding your values, even though it could be challenging and the reward isn't that great. there's that temptation to move away from spirituality and move away and take the easy road. But at the same time, I think you get the most out of putting the work in and fighting for what you really believe in. And I'd say that your ancestors fully support you in this battle against shortcuts, really. Like, there's a way to get things done, and you know that that way is what leads to fulfillment at a deep level. Not the cheap satisfaction of like just the short-term pleasure, short-term like candy, but it doesn't have any nutritional value. You value substance, you value like nutrition or just things that give back, you know. They have to nourish you back, not just you, but your family, you and your loved one in every aspect. So spiritual nourishment, physical, and I think you take that seriously. I think this pile is also very romantic. You have a big heart and you're willing to share it, and you're willing to have it open and let other people into your heart center, which isn't very easy. And that also goes to show the battles that you choose, especially regarding your heart space, when to let others go and walk away, and when to fight for your heart's protection, really. I'm gonna get one more card, actually. One more oracle card. That's weird. That's okay, I'll show this to you. Transformation, light and dark. Let me know if you could see what I see with the hand gestures of this figure here. You see that? With the hands toward the sky. The gloss is kind of hard to show that with this one, but yeah, that awareness of spiritual presence is very strong. You have a very strong awareness of that presence, and you're not afraid to ask for help, or not just ask for help, but appreciate it when the help comes. I think you might spend time with prayer, or at least active meditation, and I think part of the transformation here is in your perspective of what you want in your world, what you want. I think that changes as you've matured spiritual, as you've matured as a person. Maybe once upon a time freedom was most important, and now it's supporting a family, or it could be the other way around. But there is definitely an evolution in your values, and I think that growth is something that they admire and they love, is that you're constantly evolving. You want to be better than you used to be in every way, and some people aren't like that around you, and that bothers you, and you're not willing to. You'd rather work and be exhausted than just be comfortable and unmoving, and that's your inner warrior. The kind of like wild dancer, like shaman within you that wants to evolve and shape-shift. So hopefully you enjoyed this reading. Let me know in the comments, like, subscribe if you haven't already, And be sure to check out Tarot Yogi's portion of the reading where he's going to look at your spirit guides, why or what your spirit guides love about you. So, yeah, I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care.